welcome back to my art channel. Basically, I had a brain fart and I had actually drawn out the scribbles on the plastic part of the canvas, so I removed it and I tried to take step number 2 and step number 1, work backwards to create the same kind of scribble here. Now what I've done is I've taken a darker pink. The first pink that I had was this color. Now I have this color pink. It's a darker pink, and I'm cleaning it off on some paper towel, and I'm just going to go in and start working away at adding some darker shapes and tones to this artwork, and then we will start blending. So I've gone in and I've added some darker pinks in, and as you can see here, this pastel is pretty dirty, so if you just swirl it around, let's see if I can get it close up, swirl it around, it will start to clean off. It's key to have a clean pastel so that the colors don't smudge and you have clean lines. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with some of this lighter kind of peachy tone here, and I'm just gonna add some more shapes. You see how it gets dirty, so you go in and just twist it around, and then it'll get cleaner, and then you just keep going in with your shapes. So this is step number 3 completed, and as you can tell, this is the kind of artwork that has a long way to go, but it's the type of artwork that you can actually turn it around all 4 ways and it will still make sense and look beautiful. Now we still are going to be adding a lot of shading and filling in these spaces, but remember to keep your pastels clean, and I'm going to move on to step number 4 now. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. So for step number 3, I've gone in and I did a little bit more shading and I filled in some spots. Now I'm using a white pastel, and I'm actually going in and I'm coloring in where it's white, because when you add a color on top, it'll lighten the color just to give it some contrast, right? So I'm going in, and see how when you don't clean the pastel, it can smudge easily, right? So it's important to really clean your pastels as much as you can on your paper towel, and make sure the paper towel is fairly clear, because you'll just end up smudging colors. It's a very delicate medium, pastels, and I'm gonna work on cleaning that spot up now and filling in more spots with white in and around the canvas. But you just kind of go in and you start filling in spots with different colors. I'm using different shades of pink, and you know, you can be creative and pretty much mix any color beside any color. It's just that when you use a really dark and a really light color beside each other, you got to be very careful when you're working around the borders. And I'm gonna go in and try to fill in some of these spots and blend in some of the pink here. You could even lighten it up and do like the borders pink, like a little lighter pink with the pastel. Just make sure, once again, you're clearing off. See, it'll kind of clear off if you twist, 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 it starts to clean. Okay, stay tuned. So I just want to briefly show you this spot here. It was all in this pink, and I used the white, and I kind of went over the pink area. It kind of, the darker pink area, it did this, and then this color, and then I kind of went in parts of the borders of where the darker pink was, and I just kind of outlined it. And gotta clean off the pastel. And then just coming back here, you wanna keep working away. I'm gonna get myself a tripod so that I can use both hands, one to secure the canvas, hold the canvas down on one hand, and then be able to maneuver the pastel with the other hand. But until then, we'll just kind of make it work. And I'm kind of working backwards with this art process. Usually I would use an art piece and show the finished product, and then we kind of work towards achieving that finished product, but the finished product will be a surprise. I don't have anything on the channel yet that shows a finished product of this kind of scribble art oil pastel technique, but if you stay tuned, you will get to have the debut of the finished product. And I will show you briefly here. This art piece, I did it in about a few hours. It is still nowhere near done, but this is kind of like where we're heading, right? As you can see, it's kind of starting to make way into this aspect. And yeah, the best thing to do is just, once again, work with a clean pastel, take your time, and the cleaner lines that you create, the cleaner they are, the better the art piece looks, and it looks finished and refined. And it really does come together quite nicely. And once we finish the process with this artwork, then I will display more of the art pieces that I'm creating and have created. But for now, I kind of want to surprise you all with the process so we can embark on the journey together and evolve from what a scribble might be, right, into a masterpiece. And there's a lot that you can do with this oil pastel technique, but be patient, take your time. You see, I'm taking my time, and I find that it's also very calming and meditative, you know, and the feel of the pastels gliding, they're just really, really smooth and soft. And you could even find pastels at your local dollar store. Around the spring and summer seasons, they're usually available. Walmart sells them, and you want to make sure that you get the soft oily pastels and not the chalky pastels, because you won't get the same like glide, right? Like, you see how nicely this glides. And then for all these little pieces here, what I do is with clean hands, you see my hands are dirty, if I scrape, it's gonna smudge. So I try to get a green finger, or a clean finger actually, and just kind of pick up the little pieces and put them on to the tissue or your cloth. And you can also wrap a piece of tissue paper around your finger and also do a little bit of blending with your finger wrapped around the tissue. But it's a very meticulous, patient kind of technique. But I find if I'm very stressed out, having anxiety, or just, you know, need to calm down, when I engage with this art process, it really is very calming, and it helps me to just exercise my patience, which we probably all can use more of, right? And another way that you can clean off the canvas as well is I have a piece of cardboard here, like a Bristol board, on a blanket which I use for art. You can tap it like this and even get a clean tissue paper and kind of stroke downwards onto the artwork, and those little pieces here, like these little pieces, will get cleared off. Another thing that I do is sometimes I will put the art piece in a little bit of the sun by the window, and the pastels will start to soften a bit, and then I go in with my fingers and I just take those little pieces and I just kind of like rub them in. You have to go gently, right? But rub it in, and it will also create a nice texture and fine lines, you know? So yeah, you can play around with all of that. So that was step number 3 and 4. So we're starting to fill in the spaces now. And I'm gonna fill in a little bit more, and also I taught you how to clean these little pastel chips, and also blending with the finger, right? Blending with the finger. I haven't really tried blending with different tools. I'm sure that you can get creative and blend with different tools, but this is kind of like as far as I've gone with this technique. And I will be doing an art show in the early fall. Right now we're in May. In the early fall at the Ontario Art Gallery in Ontario, Canada, and the art pieces will be auctioned off, so stay tuned, and you'll get to see more of my artwork as I complete it. I did have quite a few pieces, but I ended up getting into a situation where I no longer have those art pieces, so I can't really display. And the phone that I had all my pictures on, I can't get that phone back. So kind of starting again from scratch, but this is part of the process, right? It's part of the process. And this art for me is a blessed healing journey for me, and it's helps me to relax, and helps me to just engage with some color that sometimes fills certain voids for me, right? And the texture and the feel of holding the pastel and how it glides against the canvas, it promotes healing and relaxation for me as well. So you see, you gotta be very careful, take your time, and I'm gonna work away at this and a little bit more with these techniques that I've shown you, which is like step 3 and 4 pretty much. I'm gonna work at it a little more, and I'll give you a little snippet of what I've done so far. See you soon. Now when you're doing a hard color onto a light color, sometimes it can kind of smudge a bit, so I will go in with the hard color around the light color just to kind of solidify the borders a little bit. Sometimes the shape will change a little bit, but that's okay. And remember to keep cleaning the pastel. But with the strokes, as you can see, depending on how gently or hard you stroke, you can see the lines. But you can go in with your finger and you can kind of blend it in. Start like spreading the pastel and then wiping it on your tissue paper or cloth. And then that needs some cleaning up in there as well. And I'm just filling in. I filled in this yellow here, but you see the borders, right? Let's see if I can do this while I'm videoing with one hand. See how it will kind of clean up the borders if you go around it. And then you know what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get a little creative here and just do a little swirl like this. So you can shape it how you want, but it just makes clean clean borders, right? The cleaner, the better. And just delicately work on that. And this is good because you can rotate the art different ways and it's still quite beautiful, right? So if you have it hanging up in your home and you want to change things up, you can just put it in a frame later. It's still a long way from being done, but just showing you that it's like 4-dimensional. You can turn it around any direction, and I will be filling in these areas here and adding more to it. You see how there's like some fingertips, but I'll just use a little bit darker colors there and it will cover it up. Alright, so I've propped up the art piece and now I'm just going to show you how I get rid of these pieces once again. Sometimes I just prop up the art pieces like this and then just roll these little pieces off onto the cardboard, onto a blanket where I can actually even wipe my hands. There's no worry about getting anything dirty. You want to take these little pieces off slowly. And sometimes I go in with like a little toothpick, and I also see it gets in your nails and stuff, but if you use some hand sanitizer, it's really good to get this stuff off. And Dawn dish soap is also very, very good to get off grease, right? Because it's oil pastel, so it can be greasy. And see, you just kind of roll that off and get those little pieces off. And so I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Alright, I think I'm going to add some yellow now. So I've gone and did a few more borders in some hard pink. And here are the colors I'm using. I'm going to go in with this lighter, kind of bright yellow. And I'm going to start filling in some areas with the yellow. Just to lighten it up a little bit. And I'm gonna just kind of mark off some of the spots that I think I want yellow, and then I'm gonna go in and fill those parts in. Ooh, that would be nice over here. Nice contrast with the peach, and maybe this little ball over here. So I'm not gonna video the whole process of coloring in these spots, but I'm gonna just kind of see where I want to lighten it up a little bit. And maybe this spot over here. I'm going to go in and color those yellow, and I'll show you what happens when that's done. Now for step number 4, I'm going in with the white, and as you can see here, I went over and around the darker pink with the white. You can see kind of where that is. It gives it kind of like a smoky, frosty contrast. And so I just kind of go in. You see when you kind of go in with the white on top of the pink, it will change the color a little bit, and it looks like a different texture change as well. And you can fill in little white spots like that by blending the white pastel with the color that's already down on the canvas. And you can also use it to smooth out edges like I just did there. Sorry, my camera blurred, but let's see if we can do it here. You see? Kind of smooths it out. There's a little piece there. And I'm kind of like all over the place. I have a friend with ADHD, and she's like popcorn, bouncing all over the place. When I do this art, bouncing from here to there and everywhere, I kind of do that as well. Oh, you know, I had a little enough of this corner, and then I'll move over here and, you know, continue the blending process there. And there's no right or wrong to art. It's a way that I get my emotions out and process my emotions as well, and thoughts. I find that it slows down my thinking when I'm doing art. It kind of gives my brain a bit of a pause, a relaxation, some rest when I'm doing art. Sorry about the blurry camera. And you can also use the pastel to pick up little pieces. I'm just